the voice of the people.
Justice for all deceased victims of political
Strength of the man.
Thank you very much, everyone at home, wherever you are. Good morning, good evening, whatever your time is, we greet you. Welcome to Impact Plus. My name is Nonso Chukwunonsemekegwa. And tonight,
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu visits IBB, former president of Nigeria.
thank you very much. That's our topic for today. And I have with me tonight one of our guest analysts who is here, Barrister Isaac Obi. So you are welcome.
Thank you, Nonso. It's my pleasure to be here again today.
All right, sir. All right, sir. So quick one. We're going to be looking at a key issue in Nigeria today, and probably one or two outside Nigeria. There is a coup scare in Nigeria. And the president has gone to Niger State to visit the general, Ibrahim Babangida. And this is a visit that people anticipated for so long, based on statement that has been coming from Babangida's mansion somewhere in Niger State. So what do you think? Is it appropriate? Has Nigeria gotten that bad that the constitution of the land has to be seized from the hands of the supposedly elected members of the executive and of course House of Assemblies, so that we can go back to the army, the military boys, and then restructure? Is that right? Because it's a fear being great. It's everywhere in the Nigerian newspaper. People are worried.
Thank you very much. The coup scare, is it a reality? The answer is yes. Apart from the terrible economic situation in the country today, we've never had it so bad. It appears that the West African region is witnessing these coup events all over. The last we have had so far, although not West Africa, in Gabon, but a neighbor to Nigeria, was as a result of a similar thing that is happening in Nigeria. They are aware of what is happening there. Burkina Faso also has its own share. These are Nigerian neighbors. And so that is the number one indicator that if care is not taken, no matter how long it takes, that the tendency that there will be an unconstitutional takeover of government in Nigeria. That is the number one reason to be worried about. The country being surrounded by these countries which have military junta as their government, really gives cause for worry. That Nigeria being at the center and surrounded by such nations will definitely give the leaders the very reason to worry.
Okay.
The second reason why there is worry is the present administration. One, we are all witnesses to what happened during the election. We have never had a controversial government like this, in spite of what the judiciary has said and all that. We know that the election was not free. It was not fair. And so, for a government which a lot of people have refused even to recognize as a legitimate government, so many people still refuse to see this government as a legitimate government. And so, they lack the cooperation which ordinarily a government that came into power through every right means would have had. So you have key functionaries in the country, in the society, the powerful ones, the influential ones. So many of them are not really cooperating.
Okay.
Now, as if that is not bad enough, the economic situation right from day one, right from inauguration of this government, has witnessed a downturn. You recall that it was precisely on the 29th of May when the president was being sworn in, without moving into the office, without any information whatsoever. At the inauguration ground, he removed the fuel subsidy. And it had an instant reaction. Everything went haywire. It started with fuel hoarding, fuel queues surfaced for a new government that was coming in power. Fuel queues surfaced, and from there we started 500 and something per liter, and so on. And from there, it has spread to other very important aspects of human existence. The cost of food items in the country today is it's unimaginable. So you have disgruntled Nigerians all over. And remember, when you're talking about Nigeria, they have relations all over. And so the visit to Babangida, I sincerely don't know how impactful it will be, because what is happening is a national disaster. Everybody is, the rich and the poor, everybody is in such a state that nobody would have imagined Nigeria will ever find itself in this situation. So the scare is real. I am one of those who don't call for that, because we know that we've had experience for over 20 years, or I mean, for quite a long time. We know we had the military in power, and we know that they are not a better option.
Yeah.
And so we are not advocating for that. But our worry is that the politicians are working hard to create an atmosphere for that to happen. That is just the worry. I don't think visiting Babangida will make any difference so far. But politicians sit at home and do their calculations. IBB is no longer the IBB we know, even though he may have still have his influence in the military and all that. Yes, but I am not convinced that a visit to him can avert what is about happening. The only thing that can avert what is about happening is for Tinubu to do the right thing. He has refused to do the right thing, paying lip services to most of the things. He should reduce the cost of governance. He should show Nigerians that he is cutting down on his lifestyle. He's asking Nigerians to go hungry. He should go hungry so that Nigerians will look at him and go hungry. He cannot be exhibiting absolute affluence and then be looking upon Nigerians to go hungry. That is not the way to live. So it doesn't end. It doesn't mean anything to me going to meet any ex-military officer. He has the wherewithal to avert this impending doom that everybody is worried about.
Interestingly, sir, the general, that's General Babangida, retired, once said that the military does not appreciate, does not wish to come to power. But there are two things that makes the ministry to whatever that mentioned two key things. One was the self-adventure of the leaders, or the most important one that propelled them most is when the people, this is the masses, are feeling the grunt of the bad governance and they are itching for a new change. He used the word, he said, when 78% of the masses are. In other words, the military, for as far as Nigeria is concerned now, has always been the fighters, the heroes, according to because whenever there's a coup, people go to the street and they start jubilating. Have we gotten to that level? Is it up to that 78 now? That is why he is visiting him. Because once a general, always a general. Olusegun Obasanjo has been quiet, but we all know how he works. And even Tinubu knows that this man is not an ally. So for him to go and visit Babangida, is it that he is sure he is getting the knocks that people, because I also read that Danjuma and the rest of people are, or some groups are, Danjuma and some people are also calling on IBB, are being called on to speak to Tinubu, to let him know that so much of his moves are wrong. One is what you have, some of the things you have been enumerated now. Secondly, is the North are afraid. The trust is no longer there. They are cautioning him about Niger Republic, the moves he has made. So all this put together, do you still think that there is not time for the military to come to Nigeria? Because the politicians are not ready to change. They will not change. Matter of fact, they are scheming and plotting for 2027. So if the military, if we are to say that choose the devil and the deep blue sea, Nigerians might be calling for that deep blue sea, which is the military coup. What's your take, sir?
Well, yes, I am sure that there is no patriotic Nigerian that will be calling for a military takeover. I am very, very sure.
Okay.
But like I keep saying, that the ball is in the court of the president. I wouldn't want to believe that politicians don't want to play by the rules. There are still very genuine politicians who are prepared to play by the rules, but the leader must take the lead. Yeah. You cannot play by the rules when the leader does not recognize that it pays to play by the rules. Everything wrong is happening within their sorrow. Everything wrong. There is nothing to reflect that our country is going through the present predicament in our sorrow. The president is gallivanting all over. His lifestyle keeps improving. He has not shown to anybody that things are really hard in Nigeria. Therefore, he, as the leader, will lead by cutting down on his lifestyle. Recently, he told us he was going back to Steve Orosanya reports.
Yeah.
By merging several ministries and all that. Steve Orosanya's report summarily dealt with trying to minimize the several areas of leakages we have in our economy, in our administrative part. Now, part of Steve Orosania's report is the merger of several ministries that are useless.
Mm.
You have what they call the Diaspora Commission.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that commission is doing. We have a Ministry of External Affairs. So what is Diaspora Commission doing? You have what they call the Infrastructure Commission. I don't know what that means. We have a Federal Ministry of Works. And in almost every ministry, you have it split into 4 or 5 sub-commissions. They have DGs, they have workers, they have all manner of things. Has the president taken steps, at least presenting? He has told us on the first day he reeled out his acceptance of Orosania report.
Mm-hmm.
He said he was merging a number of ministries, but he left the important ones. And have it in mind, we have not heard some of the ministries he said he might are creations of the statute, creations of the National Assembly. You cannot merge them by fiat.
Yeah. Okay.
We've not seen where he sent any bill to the National Assembly asking them to merge these things. And if you merge them, where are you taking the people there? These are plans that every consensus government should put in place before coming to. So what has been happening all through is a man who doesn't seem to grasp what he came to do. He does not, and it has been a situation of making the pronouncement first, then realizing, and then going back. We have seen it in all aspects of his administration. He took over ECOWAS. The first thing he did in ECOWAS was to declare war on Niger. Now you can see how ECOWAS has been humiliated so much that almost all he said had been recounted. So the problem is with the head. I keep saying it. If the head goes right, both the National Assembly, everybody will fall in line. Everybody will fall in line. And by the way, the situation in this country now, what caused IBB to take over in their days? This country, at least in IBB's days, a Peugeot 504 car was going for less than 5,000 naira. We still remember those days. The economy was still very stable. Yet they took over because, for whatever reason, they gave. And so the economy is multiple times worse than it was when there was coup d'etat in the past. And so, like I said, it does not end by running from pillar to post. You can, what is in Sokoto, in your Sokoto? You don't need to go to Sokoto to get it. The coup scare can disappear the second Tinubu decides to do the right thing. It will disappear. He doesn't need to go anywhere. If he believed he won the election and he had people's mandate to lead, let him lead the people. Let him lead the people, and he'll find himself happy with everybody. So I still emphasize that it doesn't matter running from pillar to post. It may not avert anything until the right things are done. It's noted the people he's trying to cut their friendship, the military and all that. They are people's children and relations.
Yes.
Their parents are languishing in abject poverty. They have siblings who cannot go to school. Those who can afford to go, they have responsibilities. So it's not a matter of making one person comfortable. What goes around must come around. It must be a total package.
Interestingly, sir, I remember when he was coming into power, when he was taking over office, some of the things he did with the armed forces shows that this man is trying to prevent what he foresee that will occur. I remember I read it probably. I read it and I saw when 100 retired generals were retired. Oh, sorry, 100 serving generals were retired.
Yes.
Top military government, got army officers and naval officers and air force, of course, police inclusive, were retired. And we are retired and with reported proving that some of them were also paid off to go, okay, say go and stay away. And if done all that, it then shows, if you play back, I will try to find out that report or newspaper well doing the follow-up of because our reporter is on the street. I thought that video would come in so that I can play it, but he's on the street trying to seek the opinion of the people themselves. How would a Nigerian woman wake up now, feel if tomorrow he hears we're fellow Nigerians? So we'll play that report. We're going to play that report later. But I just remember that I'm going to go back and also seek and find out write-ups on top mainstream media about what the moves he made to silence top military and armed forces personnel because of what he is anticipating. So we won't be far from the truth to say that he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing, or he knew what he was coming up for, what he was coming to do, and he knows that, okay, but he never imagined the weight at which the cuckoo will crumble, because coup in general terms are mostly executed by junior officers. They're mostly planned and carried out by die-hard, if I'm using that word, junior officers. And if the generals have been settled, those who are in the war front, who are battling without food, without insurance, without good pay, they might react. Well, we'll leave that, as you have said. Let us pray and hope that he can turn around so that the country will go the right way. But I am not, like I always tell Chris, always say, no, so you are being negative. I'm not negative. I am not negative, but I'm saying the truth remains, this bunch of politicians, they are not ready to learn. That takes us to the next point we have, which is the politics.
So before we go to the next point,
okay,
if you know how fruitless it is, the steps he's taking, if you watched the proceedings in the National Assembly the day Ningi on the issue of budget padding, if you listen to the speech of Okoyemi Bamidele, he said what Ningi did was a coup against the National Assembly to remove Akpabio. That the target of Ningi's allegation is the president of the Senate. Now, that tells you how long or how deep dissatisfaction goes. That it doesn't go by sacking army officer or police officer. It doesn't go by buying them all gold or aircrafts, private planes. It does not. It goes deeper than that. It could come from even from amongst the politicians themselves. You see? So the bottom line still remains. Let the right thing be done so that everybody will feel happy and feel belonged. And he has no reason to be scared of anything at all.
Yeah. Well, he has no reason to. You've said it all. Yeah, he has no reason to be scared because he is now as confirmed and asserted by the Supreme Court or the Court of Nigeria, the Chief Executive of Nigeria. So whether elected or not elected, voted for or not voted for, he is the president of Nigeria, but he should now stand up to do the work. Thank you very much. Let's look at our next topic: godfatherism in politics. But there is as I was somewhere, I was telling people, I said, look, if you remember how Sim Fubura was elected and how Wike backed him, and of course Yaya Bello and his boys, you found out that from nowhere this fight came in. From nowhere, it was what's it called? The Fubaro Sim is becoming people's governor. And vice versa, those same goes to Yaya Bello's boy, who is the governor of Kogi State. People just saw that those fights was orchestrated by Wike and the script writers of Wike's and all that, to take the eyes of the people away from the illegitimate and the shame election that was carried out in Rivers State. And now people now start fighting Wike and now started supporting Sim. The same is applying now. And I don't know, sir, do you see it that way? Because for me, the agreement that they did in Abuja, that he went and signed in Abuja, and then came back telling me that nobody, don't worry, it's still, no, he has not come out to say that he's not applying this. And for the quiet, the silence of Wike and others shows that behind the scene, something is still going on. Because your state and my state, Anambra State, we used to be in those shoes before. I don't know if they are still there. When somebody from nowhere will give you paper and say, feel and do this and do that, until the way it was fought very gig, and those cabals were taken care of. I still, people are not comfortable with what is happening. They still feel that Sim Fubara is still loyal to Wike and he still is paying those dues.
Yes, I agree with you entirely. In the first place, like you've rightly cited the Anambra experience, it takes an Ngige to say no to a godfather. Since after Ngige, I can't recall any godson that has wriggled out of its godfather. And the way these things play out, most of them are questions of moral rectitude. If you want to be governor, and you know that on your own you cannot, and somebody comes to you and say, I can make you governor, but once I make you governor, I'll have to choose the commissioners, I'll choose the service, the head of service, I will choose chief security officers. Everything that is important in your administration has to be determined by me. And then you say, okay, I don't mind, bring the paper, let's sign and all that. That in the first instance has put a question mark on your integrity as a person. And so when the person who you have signed the contract with has performed, and you know you did not win the election, that if not for that man, your godfather, that you wouldn't have been where you are. You cannot, when you have ascended that position, start asserting some level of independence. You cannot. It doesn't work that way. We condemn it. We know that it is godfatherism is one thing that has killed Nigerian politics and is still dealing with Nigerian politics. But I'm saying that Sim Fubara lacks the moral capacity to do anything that Wike doesn't want. And let me tell you, he is implementing what they agreed in Abuja up to tomorrow. He has recalled all the commissioners.
Yes.
He has recalled them. That's part of the terms of the agreement. Members of House of Assembly left. Commissioners, majority of the commissioners of Rivers State left. Those who were appointed by Wike, they left. They've all returned. That is an implementation of the agreement. So he cannot. He has to deal with that. He has to carry that cup until his tenure escapes. He must take orders, continue to take orders. If anything, let it be a lesson to others who will do that tomorrow. But what worry calls for constitutional review the National Assembly sits in the National Assembly and keep reviewing irrelevant items that don't touch the heart of
people.
the Nigerian well-being. Part of the things I expect that by now the National Assembly would have thought about it, but they will not do that because they are all guilty of that. The issue of godfathers ought to be legislated out. It should be a constitutional matter. Why should I be living off after 4 years or 8 years, and you see me in the campaign ground of any party, whether it is a party, equity are no longer equal. Having been in power, I have garnered a lot of goodwill. So if I want a fair election, if the country wants a fair election, there is no reason why the president of a country will be seen in the what do you call it? Campaign ground of his party, or the governor be seen on the campaign ground of his party. Some will argue that it is a constitutional matter, that as the president, even if he's a president, that he belongs to you don't deny him his right to freedom of expression,
associate,
and freedom of interaction with other people. But it's not correct. It is on certain things. So far, it does not work against public policy. And that is why there is things like, what do you call it? When you make statements that are considered against the interest of the country, you're exercising your right by making those statements. But once it is seen as being against the interest of the country, you are picked up. That's now the kind is suffering today because he expressed himself, and some people feel it is against national interest, and so on. So denying any incumbent, particularly the president and the governor, of supporting anybody openly, to bear you from doing that. What Wike did was clear to everybody. We saw it everywhere. All the governors did that. We saw what is happening in Edo State today. Obaseki doesn't like Shuaibu's face, and so he is supporting somebody. He will go to his campaign. He will make statements, open statements, in support of a particular candidate. Such things, there must be a way to legislate those things out of existence. If you have support, wait it on the day of election, go and cast your vote. But if you have been president, don't express any public opinion about any candidate. You don't. So these are some of the things that we think that by the time we start looking into, we have serious politicians, selfless politicians who want the welfare of the country. By the time you have such legislations will come in. If you played your role in politics, go out, allow whoever
it is coming in
has the wherewithal to come in. And not for you to bring a puppet. Because you've occupied the position, you mobilize the resources of the state, the resources of the country to campaign for a candidate of your choice and put him in power. The inequities are so much that it should not be encouraged. So I have no sympathy for sin. I must be frank with you. I have no sympathy for the man in Kogi State. When you came under that, if you know you don't have if your intention is let him vote me, let him help me enter first. When I enter, I do what I want. Then you must be ready to fight like Ngige. Otherwise, don't whip anybody's sentiments. Carry your cross because you must have prepared for it. Serve Wike, serve Yaya Bello, and then go.
That's interesting for the people. The people of River State and Wike. One of my friends who is from River State said no. So we have been so dealt with. Our money, our resources was used to, and somebody is claiming that it is I put you there, you know. But like you said, it's going to be if it can be a constitutional matter, it could be solved. But it takes us back to they stand. We'll look forward to it and find out that Nigeria is able to wriggle out of this mess, because it's a huge mess. It's a huge mess that we are in, from the presidency down to who is least in government. It's a huge mess. Everybody is thinking about his pocket. It has never been, it has not, the level of incompetency, the level of corruption so far, the level of incompetency, level of corruption so far is like it's a pro max. It has gone beyond what was expected. Look at the profiling of everybody that is in that government now. Every one of them, from the presidency, the executive cabinet, to the National House of Assembly. Though there are still some nationals who are, but the cabinet of the presidency are all selfly motivated.
A candidate that has people like Bayo Ononuga, who make inflammatory statements during the election, exhibiting absolute tribal inclination. In a serious country, why should such a person be found be given any national responsibility? You can only give what you have.
Yeah,
you can only give what you have. If you're a tribal bigot, you will carry it to anywhere you are.
It's so sad.
People like Bayo Ononuga have no business being in a country where unity is preached, because that sentiment will keep manifesting in all aspects of his life. And there are so many of them in this assembly. And that's why some portion of the North refer to the executive as Lagos boys.
That's another one, Lagos boys.
You see? So yes, that's what they call them. From number one to the last. You see? So you can't be mouthing national unity and then acting the opposite. It doesn't work that way. Nobody is a fool. Nobody is a fool. You are assessed by your action, not by your words. Your action should speak for you. So you can't be saying one thing and be doing another thing. Yes. Okay. And that is what we have seen so far. So far, from 29th of May 2023 up till today, all policies are, first of all, carried out before they are thought through. I have never seen this kind of thing.
It's a huge mess.
Every policy, you first of all carry out an idiotic policy, and you see that it's not going down well, then you come back and start thinking of what to do. So that is where we are. That's where we are. And the reason is because the right people has not been brought. The consideration in appointing people is the role you played during the election, not what you have to offer. What role did you play? Of course, we saw an election that what matters is to grab it, run with it, grab it. And we've seen it in everything. Run with it. Grab. Power is not served by
enemies.
It's seen in everything. So this cream of executives will have nothing to offer. They will have nothing to offer.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
We pray that
thank you, Barrister. Thank you very much, Barrister. I will join you to say amen to that prayer. Well, Nigeria has been praying before. I think it was Fashola, one of your learned men that said that
yes,
Nigeria,
a man I respect so much.
Well,
yes, one of the best minds this country has ever produced.
But then he got into the politics and got his, I don't know, Fashola is somebody that the youth of this country has never forgiven him for one particular reason. So we will go on to hold on to the fact that prayer for Nigeria to revive ourselves, will revive itself, will come to be. This country is is worth staying with, is worth living for. But if the characters that are playing and it now, contemporary playing it, are not giving us the tune that the country needs to stay, one might just consider another side of it. Thank you very much for being with me tonight on Impact Plus. It's been a pleasure having Barrister Isaac Obi as a solo man on this episode. I think I noticed there that NEPA went off. Oh, well, that's all, man. We will get back. Thank you very much, Barrister, for coming on. And viewers at home, this has been Impact Plus with Nonso Chukwunonsemeke remains my name. And I would like you to please go out there, being a good citizen you are, play safe, still be your brother's keeper that we are known for, but play safe so that you don't fall victim of so many things. I'm looking forward to being here again in the next episode so that we can share our thoughts. It's been Impact Plus. My name is Nonso Chukwunonsemeke. Subscribe to our channel 14 Plus. Yes, 14 Plus. So subscribe to it, share, like, and of course, comment as we bring you the best of programs, the best of content, best of discourse. Thank you very much and remain blessed.